Alright, hello. I'm going to be talking about Grumble and how that film kind of came about and what I learned from it. Grumble is a story about a woman who has diarrhea, and she also has a cell phone addiction, and she invites an elderly old woman who's recently widowed over to her apartment, and the old woman ends up solving both problems in the most destructive way one could imagine. And it's in 2 festivals, so that's pretty awesome. It's gotten into the Benton Park Film Festival in St. Louis, as well as the River Bend in Goshen, Indiana. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. Both Midwest film festivals. Grumble was kind of 2 separate ideas shoved into one. The old woman part was inspired by a Reddit post. It was a awkward seal meme. I didn't know how to write conflict, and diarrhea is something that we all go through, that we can all relate to. And the phone addiction kind of came from my own vulnerability of like me, even still today, feeling like I'm addicted to my cell phone, which I hate. It was a great writing exercise and like a way for me to take a character and explore like decision making within a story and in a single location. I'm so thankful. There were quite a few people that donated to make this film possible, which is the first time that I'd ever asked for donations, which I'm like, I hate asking people for things, especially money. So I just felt a little shameful to ask for money. Anthony helped me come to terms and just like put shame aside and just ask and see what happens. And whenever we filmed this thing, I was dangling by a thread here in Chicago. I was very, very close to not being able to afford to stay here anymore. We shot in March, so things were like starting to pick back up on the wedding side of things. Barely squeaked by. So we ended up making over $750 from donations, which is insane. It covered literally everything, including most of the festival costs, which I cannot be more thankful for, knowing that like we didn't have to pay for location and whatever, so it went to the talent, Catherine Bellantone, who at the Benton Park Film Festival, she's up for Best Actor, and then Joette Waters, who played the older woman, and Mariah Martel, who played AP, the supporting role. They all did fantastic, but it wouldn't have been possible without donations from people. And I'm so glad that I listened to Anthony and just like swallowed some pride and asked, because if I didn't, it wouldn't have happened. Another big thing that I learned was being able to actually utilize feedback that I was given. But in the writing phase, like I had reached out to one of the few connections that I have here in Chicago, and so it was Chris Swanberg. She visited SIU back before I graduated from there. She was a juror for the Big Muddy Film Festival. She took a liking to me and my friends, and then like before I moved up here, I asked her if she'd be willing to meet up for coffee, and she, to my surprise, said yes. And she's kind of, ever since then, she's been kind of helping me along. And whenever I sent her this script, she kind of like helped me figure out like the overall tone of the piece. And then she also like gave me the confidence to even make the thing, because without her feedback, I don't think I ever would have started down the road of actually trying to make it. Also, on the note of feedback, the ending would not have been possible without Sean Freeman's suggestion of the ending. On the day, we're filming, and we do a take with the original ending, and then it's like I turn to people, all right, what are we going to do? Because this isn't really working. Sean, creative director of the project, comes up with a brilliant idea for the ending, which I'm not going to say, you just gotta watch it when it's released. But if it wasn't for his suggestion, the movie would have a terrible ending. So there lies the beauty in collaborating in film, is sometimes the ending of your movie gets rewritten, and it's better than you ever could have done yourself. Post-production. Took a while to get this thing done because I edit a lot for work. In order to like keep my bank account at a healthy level, and then also have creative fulfillment was a really hard thing to balance, because Grumble is a project that I really care about, and I wanted to get it done, but I had to do it after I was done editing projects. So it's like, oh, I just got done editing a wedding, and I don't really want to hop back into Premiere. So it was hard for me to get through that. But once I got through it and I sent it out for feedback, which was another gratuitous type of process, I got rid of a lot of stuff. I condensed it down from like 9 minutes to a flat 7, which is a very programmable time. So once I got to that 7-minute mark, I was like, this might get into some festivals. I submitted to like 9 or 10 total. Now, with Riverbend, this is kind of a fun story. One of the producing consultants was Grace Hahn, and she produced Princess Sid here in Chicago. And I met her on a project that Chris helped me get on, which was Once Upon a River. But like after this whole thing, I sent her a cut of the film, like, hey, I wanted to submit to some festivals. Do you know of any that would be willing to screen this thing? And she said that the Riverbend might be able to, and she could get me a waiver. So I was so lucky to be able to apply for Riverbend, which is an 18-year-old festival here in the Midwest, and get accepted. And if it wasn't for Grace, that probably wouldn't have happened. So thank you. Music for this film. That was something that, I don't know, like I collaborated with this guy named Noah Uller from SIU, and it's the first time that I've had a film that has an original score. He did a fantastic job, and he took my notes very, very well. But I gave him bad notes, because I didn't, like I gave him a description of what I wanted. He gave me exactly that. I just was wrong on what was right for the movie. I can make adjustments on future films, because I don't want to like keep polishing and polishing and polishing on a short film that has been done for over a year now. I feel like it's just time to move on and let it go. But Noah did a fantastic job, and it sounds so great. It's just tonally, it's kind of confusing to watch, which is kind of nice because it kind of adds into the weirdness of the film. The next one coming up is it's called, tentatively, Sweet Child, and multiple locations, child actor, areas that I've never dealt with before. It takes place in the Midwest. It's kind of a heavier, pure drama type of story. So I'm kind of revisiting the drama genre since Thanks Paul. I'm pretty excited. I'm also nervous because I'm applying to grants, which is another first. And I'm hoping that at least one of them comes through, so it doesn't all have to come out of pocket, but I'm willing to shell out like, the first grand or so. But after that, it's like, I don't know. That's just kind of what's on the horizon. All right, see ya.